All right, Ben. Now that you're finally home,
Tommy's happy.
Tommy's happy. I want you to tell the full story of you stealing a gun.
Details. All the details.
Okay,
Spare no details.
all over. So,
Start 5 minutes before. Where were you just coming from?
so you gotta start before 5 minutes. So it was November over there. It's like rainy season. It was super rainy that year. And a rain day in Chile, in over Missionary, like missionary work, just jack shit gets done. Nothing happens. It's the worst. You just try to talk to people and they're like, it's raining. And they're like, yeah, but do you want it? I can't, it's raining. I gotta go. We knock on someone's door. Hey, can we share a message with you? Oh, you look like you're freezing. Yeah, can we come inside? It's raining. it's horrible. So anyways, that was happening. So we were just kind of trying to like goof around and have the best day possible. We get to the point where it's like 5:40 in the day, and it gets after lunch. We're just kind of like, it's in like the rough hours. We're just trying to just hang on. So anyways, we're over by this area called Titan, just like a bunch of big edificio buildings, just a bunch of big buildings. Me and my great audio.
Forgot about that little bark.
Yeah, me and my comp sit down. We're like after just nobody's in the street. It's just wild. So we sit down. It stopped raining for a little bit. We sit down. We're just like, okay, we're just gonna take like a 3-4 minute break from just being miserable. We're just gonna say a prayer. So like he says his prayers and my prayer. I'm like, please let something interesting happen today. I should have been more specific. So, anyways, we finished that up. We kind of sit there for a second more. We're like, well, we've got this one random reference that just kind of pulled up in our area book. So we went to go look for him. He ended up actually being in the other elders area, which is just like 2 streets over. So we're like, yeah, might as well just go and give it a peek. So we head over there. It's just this super ghetto part, just super ghetto. Yeah, so it's like 6 o'clock, 6:20, and we knock on the door, nothing happens. I lean my head against the door, just go, bruh. And this guy walks by. This like skinny Chilean drug addict dude walks by. He's like, yo, what's up, boys? Can I have some money? I want to buy bread. And like, I'm not a freaking idiot. You give money to a drug addict, they're not gonna buy bread. So anyways, I was like, sorry, dog. We don't have any money. And he was like, for sure, I swear I'm gonna buy bread. I was like, yeah, nah. Well, you have we got a card of Jesus if you want that. And he was like, I know you have something in your bags. Give it to me. And I was like, yeah, I'll freaking see you later, dog. So me and my comp walked off, and I was just upset because it's just the disrespect. I was hangry as well. So we turned the corner, and the same dude pulls up on a bike. Like bikes up next to us, and he's like, yo, what's up, boys? Pulls out a gun, and he's like, give me your phones. And I was like, I just extremely upset. I was super pissed. They just pulled a gun on me. So I grabbed my phone out of my pocket, and my companion, his name was El Casoverde, he's from El Salvador, which was the murder capital of the world. So he was pretty used to like getting robbed and stuff. So you just like give him the stuff and like, yeah, listo, ciao. So he was like grabbing his phone out. So I pull mine out and like set it in his hand. As I set it in the hand of the guy, I jump for the gun, grab it, put like his arm underneath my arm, and like we wrestle the ground. I pull the gun out of his hand. I stand up, take the mag out, pull the bullet out, put it in my pocket, and I'm trying to take the slide off the top of the gun. And I just stand up and I just walk away, my back turned to him, and my comp's like, so he's just tripping. He's like out of his mind. He's like, bro, we gotta run. And I was like, that's probably a good idea. And the dude was on the phone. He was on the ground yelling. He like pulled out his phone. And he says, yo, bring the other gun. And so we're like, okay. So we start running. And I couldn't get the gun back in my pocket because it was big. It was a rather large gun. So we're just running for like 200 yards, and I've just got this gun in my hand. It's like 6:30, mid of the day, daylight outside. There's people in the streets going to buy bread, and they're just looking, and they just see a white dude with a gun in his hand being followed by some Latino guy, And I was just running. So we ended up getting back to our house, back to the main street, and like we get back to the main street, stop, like trying to blend in, kind of put the gun on my jacket. We're just kind of like just speed walking back to the house. We're like, okay, open the door, get in. Like we don't have a phone, we can't call anyone, we can't contact anyone. Which we stop at like the church, or we like go to a member's house. And we're like, what freaking member's house do we want to go to, but bring like a gun into their house? I'm not really sure if they'd be super appreciative of that. Let's just get to the house first. So we get to the house, open up the door, and keep in mind it's like 6:30, right? Open up the door, and I see I see how the broadhead. I see how the broadhead. It's like 6:30 in the middle of the day, just in bed, and we're like, "What are you doing here?" Wait, never mind. We got a bigger problem. So we pull the gun out and just smack it on the table, and he's like, "Oh!" And he was pretty surprised, to say the least. And I told him, if you don't get out and work, we're gonna shoot. No, I'm just kidding.
Leave the garden.
So we end up taking the rest of the gun apart, setting it on the table, and we're like, okay, first things first, breathe. Take a picture. This is freaking awesome. So I don't have the picture. This didn't happen. So we snapped the picture. Okay, great. Awesome. Gun's taken apart. Everything's safe. Pictures acquired. Perfect. All right, let's call President. So we give President a call. Like, hey, Prez, what's going on? We just got robbed. We're fine. Oh, okay, that's good. That's great. But one thing, I may have stolen his gun, and we have a gun in the house. And he's like, no. What? You did what? Hang on, I gotta call somebody. He hangs up, and we're just kind of sitting there. We're like, what are you doing in the house? What are you doing with the gun? Okay, it's actually a great point. So we tell him the story, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's wild. So they call back from President. He's like, okay, super important. You need to do 3 things. Number 1, don't take the gun apart. Number 2, don't take a picture. And number 3, call the police. We're like, oh, miss, we can get it done. All right, we'll get on it. So, like, yeah, we'll get right to that press. So we hang up, call the police. We're on hold for like 15, 20 minutes. So thankfully we're saved. But anyways, we finally get through. We're like, all right, so we got robbed. We're fine though. We have a gun in the house. She was like, okay, what's your nationality? And I was like, the United States of America. She's like, yeah.
United States.
Yeah, freak you. So anyways,
Should have put a yeehaw in there.
right. So anyways, the police end up coming around after an hour. I'm sitting there thinking like, I should probably just pack my stuff. I'm probably not staying in this area for much longer. So I'm taking like 7 poops at this time. The adrenaline running through my body is just insane. Like I pooped like 7 times. I'm like, whoa, it's on top of the world.
Mushroom Sherman and
And we said tell all details.
Yeah, spare no details. So they end up getting there. The police we walk back out to the front where the what do you call the door person?
Doorman?
Yeah, for the apartment complex. So she's out there and she sees the cop cars pull up and she sees us leave and she's like, "Are you good?" We're like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. Just stuff that happens." And she's like, "Okay." So we're just like, "Is it alright if they pass by?" For the police officers, and she's like, "Yeah, adelante, go for it." So they come through the house and they get up to the door and we open it up and they're like hanging at the door for a second. They're like, one of them says, "Wow, this is the first time after 12 years of you guys knocking my door, instead of you MFers knocking my door, I'm entering your house." Yep. So he comes in, they take the gun. He's like, do you have your passport? And I was like, yeah, it's totally expired though. I'm completely illegal here. And he's like, that's cool. We'll just take the number down. It's all right. And we're like,
So is everyone else.
okay, that's good to know. So when they take the gun, and we have this big old map of like the area, right? And so they're like, you got a marker? We can show you which areas are like bad. And so he like marks off this area. And he's like, you should like never be walking in these areas. And we're like, yeah, we'll definitely not do that again. We have a lesson there tomorrow. and we went. So we just kept going. They took the gun, went back, and that's kind of how it went down. And then we went with the secretaries. Because the phone has like a system installed in it called MOS, and so because we get a lot of like contact information of everybody, so the church is like a secure way to like eliminate it in case it gets robbed. So they deleted the phone pretty much, Mission Impossible style. So it's just completely a brick, just useless. So the robber didn't even get a phone. And so we went to the office. I got a new phone, which was way better. That was great. And I got a little piece of pizza. And yeah, I went home and was like, that was a day. That was pretty wild.
So like, when the guy was actually pointing the gun at you, what was kind of like your thought process?
My thought process was,
if you did like have time to think at all.
yeah, it was like, that's a gun. If I have gun, I'm not dead. It's good. That's about it.
Because Sam repainted your car, me and James felt like we had to do something for you.
Hey, I also pitched in.
Yeah.
If you can get it open.
There we go.
Would
Yeah,
you-
I wanted to
could you
ask what your thought process was, because we're gonna recreate it.
Yeah. All right. All right.
So-
So who's moving you?
Relive the moment.
All right.
So
Before she comes, so she's clean. So.
hold on, Ben. So
All right.
the story with that is that I took the picture that you sent to me of you at the table with the gun. I cropped you out.
Yeah.
And I went to some gun Discord servers and I was like, hey, can anyone identify what
Hey,
gun
my
this
little
is?
brother
Hey,
stole a
all
gun.
you turbo autists.
Yeah, and some turbo autist like, oh, that's a Beretta PX4 Storm.
Oh, yeah.
And he sent me a link to it.
Yeah.
And dude, you stole a pretty nice gun.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
So
Oh.
that is.
Maybe that's why the police were confused that you actually called them to report that.
Right. I gotta hold on to it, dog. Yeah.
So yeah, this is our
This is
gift to
holiness
you.
to the Lord, our preservation. Just a little bit of sepa.
Yeah, down a
So-
little bit. There you go.
So I want to raffle.
That's so cool.
Shoe top for
Yeah.
a laser engraving. So that's why I asked you what the date was.
Oh
The other
yeah, because
side.
there's the date on the other side.
Yeah,
Roman
in Roman.
That's so cool.
So this gun is now traceable because of your story and the date on it. So just be careful what you do with it.
Okay.
That's good. And that is a really nice gun. Like drop a slide.
Yeah.
So it's a
That's heavy.
double and single action. So point it up at the rack up there. Pull the trigger. No, as it is, pull the trigger.
We got to pull off safety.
Oh yeah, safety. Which is this little lever here.
Point that way so they can see it on the video. There you go.
Now touch his head.
Yeah, you want to move that way, James?
That's it.
Okay. Oh.
So and then now rack it. So do you see how it's a lot easier?
Wow.
Yeah.
You
That
stole-
is a really nice
You
gun.
stole a nice gun, man.
So good gun.
Yeah, Mike, just turn it over. Come on, man.
Just put it in your suitcase.
Wait.
I actually did hold on to a bullet from the gun that I still actually.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I've got some other gifts for y'all, so I'll bring it down once
All right.
as it comes.
Awesome.
That's-
Oh, yeah.
So 2 mags, 17.
Are we going shooting on Saturday?
I think so.